Well, first on today's project list, we got to get these meat chickens moved out to pasture. They're a little over 2 weeks old now, and they have outgrown the brooder. So we're going to get them moved out here and get that brooder cleaned out, because our next batch of laying hens are supposed to come in the mail in the next couple of days, and we want to have that ready for them. So the boys are in there catching them now, and we'll get them moved out here real quick. Yep.
There's a lot of That's so funny. Close. That's what I have. Mama, the feed can go in.
Yeah, we're going to move them out there, and then we'll give them feed and water. Hey, don't tip them too much, okay?
Oh, Christian's chickens are trying to come out your way.
They're coming. They're coming.
I'm gonna get stuck in that grass. They're gonna get home.
It's like a jungle.
It's a mountain.
I got feed.
Give me one.
It's not going to bite you.
Just go down there where the Christian can come in here. Just don't squish any. Yeah. Maybe we should pick the grass around it so they can find it. Actually, it's fine. It's like a hunting club. Look at this one.
I don't think he really likes it.
Get to eat all the feed you want.
Our next little project's going to involve Bluebell. She is doing so good. She's growing up quick. Ain't you, Bluebell? A little bit skittish of us, but she got that over that pneumonia, and she's been doing great. Mama's doing good. So we're getting about a gallon of milk per day from Buttercup, and that's on average. Some mornings we don't get quite as much. Some mornings we get a little bit more. But it's been a huge blessing, and there's nothing like fresh milk after it's chilled. I do not drink warm milk, but the baby Bluebell is now a month old today, so we're going to start separating her at night and keeping her away from Mama, just so she don't milk her dry in the morning before we get out here, and we can milk, and then we'll put them back together, and they'll be together all day. So she's old enough now. She's starting to nibble on grass and hay and even a little bit of feed. And so we'll put her some food in there where she's got stuff if she wants it. And then once we milk in the morning, Mama always holds back a little bit for her. We'll put them back together and she can do her thing. Training the donkey. Let's see. I don't want to pin it up too close. I don't think we'll overlap it. I don't want to make it too small of an area. I should have put my boots on. All right, you get the zip ties? Thank you. Let's see what this does bending around. It's actually going to be about right. We ain't going to have to overlap it much. I will, though, just to give us enough room, make sure make sure that'll swing out and be open. Here, pull that in a little bit. Okay, so if I do that, what will that give us going that way? We'll go all the way over. All right, we'll do that. Let's do that.
Some kind of looking for the dragon pole here.
You know what? I better do this at the end so it don't pinch. One more zip tie here.
You probably need two.
Nah, just need something to hold it to the pole. There we go. I wanted to take just a couple minutes and share a few things that I've had on my mind lately, and not scripted, just kind of speaking from the heart. So, you know, we've had 2 hurricanes recently, 2 within 13 days. One hit a little bit north of us, one hit a little bit more to the south of us, but we had, that was just the eye, like we had damage from both. We had a tropical storm earlier in the year. That's kind of a part of life here in Florida. We live in the northern part of the state. It's kind of to be expected you're going to have at least 1 hurricane each year. It's not really a big deal. And we're kind of set up for it. It's a little bit of an inconvenience at times, you know, especially if you've got evacuations and fuel shortages and that sort of thing. But and the extra traffic, and, you know, it's just more inconvenient than anything. Yeah, we have some cleanup at times, but you know, we're as a general rule, we're set up for it, and kind of it's part of life. The folks up in the mountains, like that got affected with Hurricane Helene, North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, that whole area, they're not set up for that really. And I feel so bad for those folks. I don't think, even if they would have known what was coming, they could have prepared for it. You know, I watched Justin Rhodes, even him, they were preparing for what they thought was coming. They had no clue what was about to hit them. And I don't think anybody will ever see anything like that again, not in our lifetime. And you know, they're not set up for that. But I think the neatest part about all of it, and we see it here too, and it's the way we were raised. My parents raised us, and we're trying to work to raise our children the same way, is you see a lot of neighbors helping neighbors. It didn't matter their political beliefs, didn't matter their religious beliefs. You've got people out there helping each other, and I think that's awesome. You know, the Bible tells us one of the greatest commandments is to love our neighbor as ourselves. And what better opportunity than helping clean up after a storm and you've lost everything, or even just lost some stuff. I think it's awesome. You know, I would have loved to have went up and helped up in North Carolina, up around Asheville where it's real bad. And I've seen some other people like Wrangler Star and other people going, and I think that's awesome that they've done that. And I would love to be able to do it, just not financially able to do it with our family right now. But you know, we help our neighbors. We helped like 3 different neighbors get their roads cleaned up and limbs up and trees up, and helped our church. And you know, we've done what we can. And even in our neighborhood and such, we had, I didn't even know, but across about a mile from us up here, one of the roads was blocked for like 3 days. Happened to see it on a Facebook post on a group, and the person was complaining the county hadn't come and cleaned up the road yet so they could get through. I'm like, man, I haven't had a chance to even get out and ride roads other than right here where we're at on our road. We had just been so busy. So I took some of the kids, and we took the tractor and the Polaris and went over and cut that off. off the road. It had smashed down. It broke the 2 power lines, and it had smashed the telephone cable down to the ground. I knew it was under tension, but I learned a very valuable lesson that day, and my children did too. I was being careful. Thank the Lord, He protected me on that one. But I about lost my head with that telephone cable. So I had went in with the tractor and picked up the tree the best I could. The tree was pretty big, so it didn't pick much up, but I saw that it had released some of the tension on the line. But I was still careful, so I cut a little on top, and then I reached under and was cutting. And as I got real close to having that thing cut, that log, it was about 5 or 6 feet long, probably 6 or 8 inches in diameter. That thing was like a bow and arrow. It shot that thing up in the air. I've never seen nothing like it. And that telephone wire went back up to where it was supposed to be with a limb hanging on it, and it threw the log over into the woods. And I looked at my kids, and they looked at me, and was like, that was close. That was too close. So if you're running us all around power lines, be careful. I had already hot checked the power lines to make sure they were not alive before I got up in there, and was trying to take every safety precaution I could, but it's still dangerous. But you know, I don't understand the mentality of not wanting to get out there. You know, for as long as I can ever remember, as soon as the storm was over, we were out there with a chainsaw and trying to clean up roads and clear everything out to where, you know, we help everybody as much as we could. So to be relying on the government or the county or the state or the federal government or FEMA or anybody like that, I don't understand that. I mean, even our county has it to where you can put the limbs out by the highway and they'll come by in the next couple of months and pick them up. Man, I don't want to see limbs out there in front of my house for 2 or 3 months killing the grass and being an eyesore, so we brought them back here and we burned them. That's part of self-sufficiency, and it's been neat to see that American spirit, that Christian spirit, working in a lot of these videos that I'm watching online, where all these communities are coming together and helping each other out and providing fuel and water and generators and anything that they might need. You know, I think it's awesome, and I think that's what we're supposed to be doing as Americans and as Christians, is loving our neighbor, helping them out as much as we possibly can. And they're not filming what they're doing necessarily. Like Justin Rhodes, Wrangler Star, they're not out there trying to get themselves credit for what they're doing. I didn't film what we were doing for our neighbors. I'm not that way. I don't want to rob our family of a blessing by posting, look what we did. I don't agree with that. But I think it's okay to talk about what other people have done. You know, let another man praise thee and not thine own lips. So I think it's great seeing like Justin Rhodes and Wrangler Star and Garrett Mitchell, I forget what he does the race car thing. He was up there with his helicopter, and Greg Biffle, and they were flying people in and out, rescuing them. That's awesome. And I think we need to keep that up for sure. Secondly, I would say these storms have provided the ultimate opportunity for every single person to be somewhat of a homesteader and self-sufficient. You know, you have preppers, you've got homesteaders. They're kind of all the same. And like you look at Justin Rhodes, for example. They've been without power now for a couple weeks. They have a generator. They can pump up their freezers, cool them off. They have a way of getting water. You know, but it's not really affected their lifestyle that much. You know, for them, they're used to using a clothes dryer. They're hanging their clothes out on a line. I mean, that's what we've done for a year and a half. We don't even own a clothes dryer. But that mentality of being prepared. Everybody thinks, oh, you're just paranoid. It's not like we're preparing for Russia to come or China to come and invade our country and we've got to live off our land. And, you know, it's about being prepared for small problems that you may have that you may not see coming. You know, they've got food, they've got meat in the freezer, they've got canned goods, they have chickens laying eggs, they've got a milk cow. They're good to go. They go out occasionally and get fuel, but they were able to focus on helping other people rather than worrying about trying to stay alive themselves. I saw a family of 11 passed away in the mountains up in North Carolina. That's sad. That should never happen. And that wasn't from the actual floodwaters. That was after the fact. That's because they were trapped and no way to get in or out to get food and water and that sort of thing. You got to be prepared. You got to be prepared. You never know when a natural disaster is going to hit. You don't want to be up there fighting with people in the lines. Now's the time when there's nothing going on to go get you some gas cans, some propane tanks. Fill them up. Have them sit. Rotate them out every month or so. You know, pour it in your car and refill them up. And that way it stays fresh. Store canned goods. If you can grow a garden, if you've got an area to grow some food. Have it on hand. Get you some of those sealable 5-gallon buckets or some of those Mylar bags like we showed in our channel before. Seal up some rice and beans and just stick it away. Who wants to eat beans and rice? Well, you know, when there's nothing else to eat, nothing wrong with beans and rice. It'll keep you alive. So I don't want to just keep rambling, but I did want to share. I think it's very important that people prepare. You never know when something might happen, and you'll be set. And it gives you peace of mind. You're not worried to death. You're not wondering, you know, where are we going to feed our family? You know, have you some freedom seeds on hand, some extra freedom seeds, along with, you know, the freedom seed dispensers. You can go hunting. There's animals out in the woods. There's squirrels, there's rabbits, there's deer, there's wild hog where we're at. You know, at least you're prepared. You can provide for your family. And, you know, we trust the Lord. We also got some responsibility on our own part to prepare. So I encourage you, start preparing, start homesteading. Get you some stuff stocked up. It sure has come in handy for a lot of people with these storms. And I know we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about vulnerabilities on our farm, and we're going to be working to address those in the near future. And yeah, so anyway, thank y'all so much for listening. I hope you have a fantastic day. We'll see you next time.